Jurassic Park is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Universal. It can be found as part of the Jurassic Park Trilogy Steelbook Collection, available at your online retailers. What can I say about the film that hasn't already been said? To this day, it's Steven Spielberg's most financially successful film and one that has cemented its place in pop culture and cinema history. I still remember seeing it for the first time, which theater, and the crowd reaction. The movie has such a legacy and still holds up incredibly well today. Jurassic Park on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has an aspect ratio of 185:1 with native 4K resolution, and it supports both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. For purposes of this review, I will be discussing the Dolby Vision transfer and how it compares to the 2018 Jurassic Park release with HDR10 only. Back when the original film was released on 4K in 2018, Universal's transfer, let's just say, met with divisive opinions. Based off a scan from a 2010 master, the picture to me was far from the ideal cinematic presentation, mostly in regard to the egregious application of DNR. Anybody remember when studios were quick to apply grain management to anything because some focus group told them that film grain was quote-unquote ugly? Well, that practice has since mostly rolled back, still keeping an eye on you, Paramount, and for one of the biggest films of all time, Jurassic Park, that thankfully has been at the very least minimized for its 2025 re-release. Be forewarned, the film has not underwent a from-the-ground-up restoration effort. Instead, it enjoys some slight tweaks from a supposed remaster, the addition of Dolby Vision, and of course a more filmic grain structure. Overall peak brightness seems to have been improved, as well as deep and richer black levels. First, when it comes to the 4K resolution, this appears to be nearly identical to both releases. Of course, improvements can be found in those sequences where DNR was more aggressive in the 2018 disc, but it's a matter of really making an effort to spot it. It also goes without saying that some of the early CGI shots do continue to be soft here, which, if they went full out and completely did a full-blown restoration, this could have been mitigated, but I could see this easily being cost prohibitive, so it's unlikely we will see this in the future. As for the improvements to the palette, there are subtle differences and more obvious in some scenes as opposed to others. The scene where we are first introduced to Dr. Grant and Dr. Sadler, there is a noteworthy improvement to the color space on the Dolby Vision transfer. In other scenes, like this one with Nedry, it's less apparent. Black levels, however, I did find to be more consistently improved here. It's still not a night and day difference, pardon the pun, but I found the changes to be appreciable. The overall experience is to me a more visually pleasing look at the film with this new disc. It's far from perfect, and there definitely could be more alterations to further bring it closer to an ideal transfer, but hardcore fans I think will appreciate the arguably better upgrade. Jurassic Park on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports a Dolby Atmos audio mix, which folds down to a Dolby True HD 7.1. There are also international 5.1 options available. One more big difference outside of the visual improvements is the inclusion of Dolby Atmos, whereas the first disc from 2018 supported a DTSX audio track. I've always had fond memories of the audio experience ever since the Laserdisc days, and more often than not, the DTSX track on the previous release was more than serviceable. It was never the most dynamic track out there, but I found the sound design to be supported well with the audio from DTSX. I'm pleased to say that the new Atmos improves upon things a little bit, and at the very least, it fixes a few directional audio cues from over the previous release and adds some height activity that weren't part of the 2018 edition. For overall immersion, I feel the Atmos offers a better audible presentation. Don't get me wrong, the DTSX is still a fine experience, and most likely only those with a more attuned ear will really notice the differences in the Atmos. It doesn't appear any new supplements were created for this 2025 edition, and these are simply ports from the prior 2018 disc. Any bonus materials that were created for that 4K release, as well as legacy content, are all included on the 4K itself. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Jurassic Park on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray a B+, and the previous release a B-. At the end of the day, the casual observer would probably at the very least agree that the improvements are subtle when it comes to picture quality. I found the restoration of grain to be a welcome addition and the tweaks to the palette with Dolby Vision to be appreciable. It's still not a perfect looking transfer, but it is the best we have for the time being. For the audio, I scored it an A and the previous release an A-. I think if you're a hardcore audiophile, you will more than appreciate the changes to the overall listening experience. The sound design for the time is well represented here, and the Atmos does a good job and is consistent. And for the extras, I graded them an A- for both releases. Those hoping for new bonus materials will have to be disappointed, but what is offered here I feel is certainly worth checking out. Those that have the prior release, you know fully what to expect. So that is my review of Jurassic Park on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray from Universal. If you're interested in picking up a copy for yourself, I will leave a direct link for the Steelbook in the comment section, but if you have the new collection already, let us know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.